My name is Amara Collins. I was 31 years old when everything changed. Last Thanksgiving, my mother raised her glass in front of 14 people and said, "One daughter is a doctor. The other, well, she cleans houses." Everyone laughed. I stood there, holding a jug of water, pretending not to hear. My sisters smiled like it was nothing. My father looked down at his plate. No one defended me. I did not say a word. I just kept refilling glasses. But what they did not know was this. 3 weeks later, those same people would sit in a ballroom, watching me walk across a stage. They would hear my name called. They would see who I really was. If you have ever been overlooked by your own family, stay with me. And if this story speaks to you, take a second to like and subscribe. Because what happened next changed everything. To understand that moment, you have to understand my family. We lived in a quiet neighborhood in Phoenix. Big houses, clean streets, perfect lawns. My mother, Gloria, cared deeply about appearances. She loved church, respect, and anything that made her look good. My father, Henry, was quiet. He avoided conflict. His favorite words were, "Your mother means well." Then there was my older sister, Vanessa, Dr. Vanessa Collins. She was everything my mother wanted. Smart, beautiful, successful. She had a big dermatology practice and a perfect life. I was just there. Growing up, I was never Amara. I was always Vanessa's little sister. And in a family that worshipped success, being average felt like failure. There was a wall in our living room. We called it the family wall. 12 framed photos. Vanessa was in 11 of them. Her graduation, her wedding, her baby, her awards. I was in one. My high school graduation. It was placed in the corner, partly hidden behind a plant. That wall told me everything I needed to know. Even on my mother's social media, I barely existed. One photo in 3 years. And even that one was blurry. I used to scroll through her page at night, hoping to see myself. But I never did. If you have ever felt invisible in your own home, you understand this pain. When Vanessa graduated from medical school, my parents threw a huge party. 60 guests, live music, a long speech that made people cry. When I got my certificate as a medical assistant, my mother said, "That's nice. Pass the salad." That was it. No celebration, no pride, just silence. The message was always clear. Vanessa was the success. I was the extra. And after a while, I started believing it. At 22, I got a job at Vanessa's clinic. She said it was a favor. "Don't make me regret this," she told me. I worked hard, very hard. I came early, stayed late. I learned every patient's name. I made sure everything ran smoothly. For 5 years, I gave that job everything I had. I never complained. I never caused trouble. I just wanted to prove that I was enough. But I did not know something was already being planned behind my back. It happened on a Monday morning. I was called into the manager's office. She looked uncomfortable. "We've received complaints," she said. "Complaints?" I asked. She avoided my eyes. "We have to let you go. Effective immediately. 5 years. Gone in minutes. No explanation. No warning." I packed my things in silence. As I walked past Vanessa's office, she was laughing on the phone. She did not even look at me. That moment stayed with me, because something inside me broke. 2 weeks later, I got a call. It was from a coworker. Her voice was shaky. "Amara, I thought you knew." "Knew what?" Silence. Then she said it. "It was Vanessa. She told them you were a problem." My hands went cold. "She said you made patients uncomfortable, that you were a liability." None of it was true, but it did not matter. She was the doctor. I was nobody. That was the moment everything became clear. I had no job, some debt, and no support. I did not tell my parents the truth. I said I needed a change. My mother only said, "I hope you find something soon. It's embarrassing when people ask what you do." That word stayed with me. Embarrassing. I sat in my car for hours that day. Not crying. Not angry. Just empty. If you have ever hit rock bottom, you know this feeling. It is quiet. Too quiet. That night, I called the only person who truly saw me. My Aunt Beatrice. She was the black sheep of the family. Divorced. Simple life. Not successful by my mother's standards. But she listened. Really listened. After I told her everything, she said something I will never forget. Do not let them watch you suffer. And do not let them watch you rise. Just build your life quietly. That advice changed everything. Because that night, I stopped waiting for them to love me. I started cleaning houses. It was not my dream, but I needed money. My first client was an older woman living alone. Her house was big, but her life was messy. Unpaid bills, broken things, disorganized spaces. One day, I helped her without being asked. I organized everything, fixed what I could. She cried. No one has ever done this for me, she said. That was when I realized something powerful. People did not just want cleaning. They wanted peace. That idea changed my life. I started offering more than cleaning. I helped manage homes, organized lives, handled tasks people did not have time for. I saw a gap, and I stepped into it. Soon I had more clients. Then more. I worked long hours. Very long. But for the first time, I felt something new. Control. Purpose. I was no longer invisible, even if no one in my family knew. I officially started my business. Pristine Living Services. It was small at first. Just me. Then I hired help. We took every job we could get. Cleaning. Organizing. Running errands. Anything that made life easier for clients. It was hard. There were days I wanted to quit. But I kept going. Because I had nothing to go back to. And something to prove. Not to them but to myself. Then, everything changed. A wealthy business owner contacted me. She needed someone trustworthy, discreet, reliable. I met her in her office. She looked at me carefully. Why should I trust you? She asked. I answered honestly. I know how to be invisible, and I know how to make things work. She hired me. That contract changed everything. It opened doors I never imagined. My business grew fast. More clients, more contracts, more staff. Within 3 years, I had a full company, dozens of employees, major clients, strong income. But at home, nothing changed. My family still thought I was just cleaning. And I let them believe it, because I was not ready. Not yet. Sometimes, silence is your greatest power. Only one person knew the truth. Aunt Beatrice. She found out by accident. One of her clients mentioned my company. She called me immediately. That's you, isn't it? I paused. Then I said yes. She laughed. Then she cried. I knew you were special, she said. I told her not to tell anyone. She agreed. But she also said something important. One day, they will see. At the time, I did not know how soon that day would come. Thanksgiving came again in 2025. I drove to my parents' house like I always did. Same road. Same quiet tension in my chest. I wore simple clothes. Nothing special. When I arrived, the house was already full. Voices. Laughter. Glasses clinking. My mother saw me and said, "Good you're here. Help me in the kitchen." No hug. No smile. Just instructions. I helped. Of course I did. I set the table, carried food, refilled drinks. No one asked me to sit. At one point, my nephew tugged my arm and asked, "Auntie, why are you always working?" Before I could answer, Vanessa laughed. Because that's what she does. Everyone smiled. I stayed quiet, but something inside me was already shifting. We sat down to eat around evening. 14 people at the table. Same faces. Same roles. My seat was near the kitchen door. Of course it was. My mother stood up with a glass of wine. "I want to say something," she said. The room became quiet. She thanked God, praised my father. Then she turned to Vanessa. "My daughter, the doctor," she said proudly. People nodded, smiled. Then she turned to me. "And Amara," she paused, then laughed. "One daughter is a doctor. The other cleans houses." The table exploded with laughter. Every single person. I counted. All but two. And in that moment, something inside me finally broke. I slowly put down my glass. The laughter faded. I stood up. My mother looked confused. Amara? I looked at her. Then, at everyone. "Thank you," I said. She blinked. "For showing me exactly where I stand." Silence filled the room. No one moved. No one spoke. I picked up my bag. And I walked out. No shouting. No drama. Just done. If you've ever had a moment where you finally choose yourself, you understand this. And if this part hit you, take a second to drop a comment. Because this was only the beginning. I was sitting in a parking lot when my phone rang. It was my Aunt Clara. Her voice was shaking. "Amara, I need to tell you something." She explained. Months ago, she had sent an email by mistake. To me. I never saw it. "Check your spam," she said. My hands felt cold. I opened my email, searched the subject, and there it was. What to do about Amara. I opened it, and my world changed forever. The emails went back over a year. Dozens of messages. Between my mother, my sister, my aunt, talking about me. Like I was a problem. An embarrassment. How do we manage her? Should we invite her? She ruins the image. Then I saw it. A message from my mother. "I sometimes wish I only had one daughter." I stopped breathing. I read it again. And again. Because I needed to be sure. But it was real. Every word. Every sentence. Planned. Documented. Deliberate. Then I reached the final email. Dated 3 days before Thanksgiving. From Vanessa. "Don't worry. After dinner, she'll know her place." A toast. Planned. Prepared. Approved. That moment at dinner was not a joke. It was a setup. A public humiliation. Organized by my own family. I sat there for a long time. Not crying. Not angry. Just clear. Everything finally made sense. I created a folder. Named it Truth. Saved every email. Because now, I knew exactly who they were. The next morning, I got another email. But this one was different. It was from a business council. I had been selected for an award. Entrepreneur of the Year. A large event. Hundreds of guests. Media coverage. And 10 invitations. I read it 3 times. Then I smiled. Not out of revenge, but clarity. I knew exactly what I was going to do. I would not expose them. I would not argue. I would not fight. I would simply show them. The event was held 3 weeks later. A large ballroom. Elegant. Full of important people. I arrived early. Through the back entrance. From behind the curtain I saw them. My mother. My father. Vanessa. All seated at one table. Laughing. Relaxed. They had no idea. Not yet. My heart was calm. Not racing. Not nervous. Just steady. Because I had already won. Before stepping on that stage. When my name was called, the room went silent. "Please welcome, Amara Collins." I stepped onto the stage. The lights were bright. The room was full. And I could feel their eyes on me. I spoke calmly. Clearly. I told my story. About being fired. About starting over. About building something from nothing. Then I said it. There were people who told me I would never be enough. I looked at them. They gave me the reason to prove them wrong. Silence. Then applause. Then a standing ovation. And at that table, they sat frozen. After the event, my mother came to me. She was crying. "Why didn't you tell us?" she asked. I looked at her. "Would you have listened?" She had no answer. "I'm not angry," I said. "I'm just done." And for the first time in my life, I meant it. I didn't cut them off. But I stopped chasing them. Stopped seeking approval. Stopped waiting. Because I had something better now. Peace. If this story spoke to you, take a moment to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts. Because sometimes, the best way to prove people wrong is to outgrow them.